March Madness is here, and inside WWE 2K25, we are going to put together a 64-man superstar bracket, rated just like you see in the college basketball March Madness bracket, where you have 68 teams into 64. We have a 64-man bracket you see before you, and we're going to go all the way from the round of 64 to the championship in today's video and find out who is going to be the WWE champion here in WWE 2K25 March Madness. So we've set up inside universe mode a roster with all 64 stars on Raw, and basically week to week we're going to do a whole round. So this first week you see we have our opening matchup, which is going to be exciting. You have the 1 seed Stone Cold Steve Austin versus the 16 seed Devon. You have Steamboat, who's the 8 seed, versus Kevin Nash, the 9 seed. Drew McIntyre at the 5 seed in this region, taking on the 12 seeded Sandman. And then you have the 4 seed Billy Graham, Superstar Billy Graham, versus the 13 seed Wade Barrett. And then of course you got the 6 seed Jey Uso and the 11 seed Lex Luger. And then you have the 3 seed Bret the Hitman Hart versus Farouk, the 14 seed. And then our last 2 matchups for the opening region is going to be the number 7 seed Kurt Angle versus the number 10 seed Kevin Owens. And lastly, number 2 seeded The Rock versus number 15 seed Kane from 2008. So we're going to do, we're simply just going to simulate all the matches. We'll be showing a few matches here and there, especially once we get to our final 4 and championships. We're going to simulate a lot here. Again, I'm curious to know your predictions below. Let's get it started though with the first region simulation. So we're going to simulate all matches and see who will win and advance. And we have a huge upset. Devon Dudley defeats Stone Cold Steve Austin, ladies and gentlemen. So Devon is going to advance, and he will be heading on to the round of 32. Shocking result early on, and now you got Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash, that's not a huge, not a massive upset. It's an 8-9 matchup, but man, I'm shocked to see the 16 seed move on. Drew McIntyre, the 5 seed, takes care and defeats Sandman. So you do have top seed winning there. You have Superstar Billy Graham, the 4 seed, defeating the 13 seed Wade Barrett. So nothing shocking there, right there. Moving on, we have Jey Uso, the 6 seed, taking care of number 11 Lex Luger. So again, only one real upset thus far. Bret the Hitman Hart, the 3 seed, defeats Farouk. So all the top seeds are winning right now, except for Stone Cold. Kurt Angle, the 7, beats Kevin Owens. And what else are we going to get here? Let's see. We have, okay, The Rock defeated. So the 2 seed goes down, and Kane advances, ladies and gentlemen. Kane will move on to the round of 32. So very intriguing matchups so far to start. The bracket's got a couple upsets in this first region here, as currently you have the 16 seed defeating the 1 seed with Devon Dudley defeating the Stone Cold, and you had, of course, what we just saw there with The Rock, the 2 seed, defeated at the hands of Kane, the 15 seed, moving on to the round of 32. All right, and we're ready for our second region. This is led by the 1 seeded Roman Reigns, who's going to be taking on Jimmy Uso, the 16 seed. We have the 8-9 matchup with DDP 98. He's the 8 seed, and Solo Sikoa is the 9 seed. You have the 5 seed Bruno Sammartino taking on the 12 seeded Damian Priest. You have the 4 seed CM Punk taking on the 13 Mankind. Down in the bottom region of the bracket, you have number 6 seed Demon Finn Balor versus the 11 seed Scott Hall. The number 3 seed Seth Rollins taking on number 14 seeded British Bulldog. You have the 7 seed Eddie Guerrero taking on the 10 seed Jacob Fatu. And number 2 seed, that is the Fiend Bray Wyatt 2023 versus the 15 seeded AJ Styles. So let's go ahead and simulate the matches. Let's see if we have any big upsets this time around, as right now the 1 seed advances. So Roman Reigns will move on to the round of 32. You have DDP moving on with a win over Solo Sikoa. So far, the higher seeds are winning right now, or I guess the lower seeds, whatever you're going to call it. Bruno Sammartino, the 5 seed, wins and will move on and defeat Damian Priest. You have CM Punk defeating Mankind. So far, all of the higher overall stars are winning. Until now, Finn Balor upset by Scott Hall, the 11 seed. Moving on with the dub here. Moving on. Now we got the British Bulldog, the 14 seed, defeats number 3, Seth Rollins. The 7 seed, Eddie Guerrero, gets a big win over the number 10, Jacob Fatu. And number 2 seed, The Fiend 2023, moves on with a win. So a couple upsets, not too terribly much. There you see a look at that region right now. Some interesting matchups for the round of 32, the second round. Again, a couple big upsets early on, but nothing. I mean, there's a couple in that first region, I guess, to look at. But let's go ahead. Let's get to the third region in the first round, and let's get it all set up. All right, in our third region, here we go. The 1 seed, Cody Rhodes, will take on the 16 seed, Roddy Piper. The 8 seed, LA Knight, versus the 9 seed, Andre the Giant. The 5 seed, Triple H 08, versus the 12 seed, Sami Zayn. The 4 seed, Gunther, taking on the 13 seed, Ken Shamrock. You have right here the 6 seed, RVD, versus the 11 seed, Vader. The 3 seed, Hollywood Hogan, taking on the 14 seed, Bronson Reed. You have the 7 seed, Batista, taking on the 10 seed, Terry Funk. And the 2 seed, Shawn Michaels 05, versus the 15 seed, the Iron Sheik. So let's go ahead and simulate the third region. Round of 64, Cody Rhodes with a win. Cody will move on to the round of 32 to take on LA Knight. The 8 seed defeats Andre the Giant. That's gonna be a fun second round right there. You have Triple H taking care and defeating Sami Zayn. You have Ken Shamrock with the upset. The 13 seed defeats the 4 seed. Gunther's out of here. Ken Shamrock moves on, as does Vader. The 11 seed, Vader, with the win over the 6 seed, RVD. Hollywood Hogan, the 3 seed, defeats and takes care of Bronson Reed. And then we have Batista, the 7 seed, defeats Terry Funk, the 10 seed. And Iron Sheik, the number 15 seed, defeats the number 2 seed, HBK 05. So we did have a couple big upsets in this one here. As the round of 32 is shaken out, we have one more region to get through for the round of 64. Let's get it. All right, in our final region, we have the 1 seed, Undertaker, taking on the 16 seed, Tama Tonga. The 8 seed, Randy Savage, versus the 9 seed, Braun Breaker. The 5 seed, Dusty Rhodes, versus the 12 seed, Rey Mysterio. The 4 seed, Randy Orton, versus the 13 seed, The Great Muta. We have right here the 6 seed, Logan Paul, versus the 11 seed, Sheamus. The 3 seed, Ultimate Warrior, versus the 14 seed, Booker T. And the 7 seed, JBL, versus the 10 seed, Nakamura. And the number 2 seed, John Cena, versus the 15 seed, Bubba Ray Dudley. Let's go ahead and simulate through the final region and see who will move on, as Undertaker takes care of Tonga, and he will move on to the round of 32. We have Randy Savage defeating Braun Breaker. Man, I was hoping Braun Breaker honestly would win this one and make a run, but he is gone. Rey Mysterio, the 12 seed, defeats the 5 seed, Dusty Rhodes. Okay, that's a big one right there. Randy Orton, the 4 seed, defeats the Great Muta, and we'll move on. So that's gonna be a good 4-5 matchup right there. The 6 seed, Logan Paul, defeats the 11 seed, Sheamus. We have Booker T, the 14 seed, defeating number 3, Ultimate Warrior. And we have Shinsuke Nakamura, the 10 seed, taking care of JBL, the 7 seed. So a couple upsets in this bottom part of the region. And John Cena, the 2 seed, moves on, defeats the 15 seed, Bubba Ray Dudley. So ladies and gentlemen, we have our round of 32 set and ready to move on and compete for glory, and hopefully to be one and take part in the Sweet 16 and then some. So let's go ahead and get everything rolling and move on to the round of 32. All right, time for the round of 32 as we get things going with the biggest upset. 16 seed Devon Dudley will be taking on the 9 seed Kevin Nash. The 5 seed Drew McIntyre versus the 4 seed superstar Billy Graham. Then we have the 6 seed Jey Uso versus the 3 seed Bret the Hitman Hart. The 7 seed Kurt Angle versus the 15 seed Kane 08. And then we got the 1 seed Roman Reigns out of this next region versus the 8 seed DDP 98. The 5 seed Bruno Sammartino versus the 4 seed CM Punk. And then lastly, we have the 11 seed Scott Hall versus the 14 seed British Bulldog, and the 7 seed Eddie Guerrero versus the 2 seed The Fiend Bray Wyatt 2023. The winners of these matches in the simulation will take their place in the Sweet 16. So let's get it. Let's see who moves on. And we have a Kevin Nash win. So Kevin Nash, the 9 seed. Kevin Nash taking care of business and moving on to the Sweet 16, ladies and gentlemen. We have Drew McIntyre, the 5 seed, with the win. Drew McIntyre will move on to the Sweet 16. Jey Uso, the 6 seed, defeats the 3 seed. So Jey Uso moves on. Kurt Angle, the 7 seed, defeats Kane, the 15 seed. And then we got Roman Reigns, the 1 seed, stays on track, on path. We have CM Punk, the 4 seed, with a huge win over Bruno Sammartino. Scott Hall defeated the 14 seed British Bulldog, pulling on an underdog story, off an underdog story, I should say, continuing on. And the 7 seed Eddie Guerrero defeats the 2 seed, the Fiend Bray Wyatt 2023. So there you look at it. There are your matchups for the Sweet 16 out of these 2 regions who will be taking each other on. Very, very interesting matchups overall. I like what I'm seeing here. This Jey Uso versus Kurt Angle matchup is going to be just amazing. I think it's going to be a really good match. And then, of course, you got Roman Reigns, the 1 seed out of this region, taking on the 4 seed CM Punk in the Sweet 16 spot. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's move on to this next region, shall we? All right, other 2 regions for the round of 32. We have Cody Rhodes, the 1 seed, taking on LA Knight, the 8 seed. We have the 5 seed Triple H 08 versus Ken Shamrock, the 13. We have the 11 seed Vader versus the 3 seed Hollywood Hogan, the 7 seed Batista versus the 15 seed Iron Sheik, the 1 seed Taker taking on the 8 seed Randy Savage, the 12 seed Rey Mysterio taking on that 4 seed Randy Orton, the 6 seed Logan Paul taking on the 14 seed Booker T. And lastly is the 10 seed Shinsuke Nakamura and the 2 seed John Cena. Let's move on. Let's see. And who will move on to become a Sweet 16 participant. Simulate all matches. And LA Knight defeats the 1 seed. Cody Rhodes goes down. LA Knight continuing on the magic, as does Triple H. Moving on to a matchup in the Sweet 16 versus one another. Hollywood Hogan, the 3 seed, continues to win as he takes down Vader, and it's the Iron Sheik, the 15 seed, will move on to take on Hollywood Hogan. Taker, the 1 seed out of this region, gets the win over the 8 seed, and he will be taking on Randy Orton, the 4 seed. It'll be a 1-4 matchup in the Sweet 16. Logan Paul, the 6 seed, gets a big win over Booker T, and he will take on the 2 seed John Cena in the Sweet 16. So ladies and gentlemen, there you go. There are your winners. And there you see the complete Sweet 16 and what we have left to take on to see who will be our March Madness champion here in WWE 2K25. Sweet 16 time. And here we go. The 9 seed Kevin Nash will take on the 5 seed Drew McIntyre. We have the 6 seed Jey Uso taking on the 7 seed Kurt Angle. The 1 seed Roman Reigns versus the 4 seed CM Punk. The 14 seed British Bulldog versus the 7 seed Eddie Guerrero. Moving on to this other region, we have the 8 seed LA Knight versus the 5 seed Triple H 08. The 3 seed Hollywood Hogan versus the 15 seed underdog Cinderella Story Iron Sheik. The 1 seed Undertaker versus the 4 seed Randall Keith Orton. And you have the 6 seed Logan Paul versus the 2 seed John Cena. The winners move on and be a part of our Elite 8 here in our tournament. Let's simulate. Let's see who moves on. And Kevin Nash, the 9 seed, takes care of and defeats Drew McIntyre, as does Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle takes care of Jimmy Uso. The Yeet movement is over. He moves on to the Elite 8. Roman Reigns disposes of the greatest in the world. No more, as CM Punk is eliminated from this tournament. And as Eddie Guerrero will take him on in the Elite 8 matchup. The 7 seed takes care of the British Bulldog, number 14 seed. And number 8, LA Knight continues to move on. Another big win, takes care of the 5 seed Triple H. The 3 seed Hollywood Hogan disposes of the 15 seed. The Cinderella Story of the Iron Sheik is over. And Randy Orton defeats the 1 seed Undertaker. Taker is out of here, and he will take on John Cena, the 2 seed. moves on, and we have our Elite Eight ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. Very interesting. Now let's get into some big time matchups in the Elite Eight tournament. All right, we're down to the Elite Eight here in our tournament. Here you see the bracket as it shakes out for the last 8 competitors. As we have our 9 seed, you have Kevin Nash versus the 7 seed, Kurt Angle. Down below that, you got the 1 seed Roman Reigns taking on the the 7 seed Eddie Guerrero. And then below him in the next region, you have LA Knight, the 8 seeds, pulling off some big upsets lately. He's going to be taking on a tough opponent with the 3 seed Hollywood Hogan. And in our last matchup, the 4 seed Randy Orton taking on the 2 seed John Big Match Cena. So let's go ahead and simulate through this Elite 8 matchup, and then we'll get to our spectating for some of our matchups in the Final 4. So here we go. Who will move on out of the top matchup here? It is Kurt Angle. The 7 seed moves on with a big win. The 1 seed Roman Reigns disposes of Eddie Guerrero. We get down here Hollywood Hogan, the 3 seed, takes care. LA Knight is gone. His run is over. And lastly, John Cena, the 2 seed, wins and moves on to the Final 4. So we have a very, very interesting Final 4 here, as you have the 7 seed Kurt Angle taking on the 1 seed Roman Reigns. You have the 3 seed Hollywood Hogan taking on a 2 seed John Cena for your Final 4, ladies and gentlemen. All right, it's time for our Final 4 matchup. Again, Kurt Angle, Roman Reigns. This is a 7 versus 1 matchup. And then you have Hollywood Hogan, a 3 versus a 2 with John Cena. Let's go ahead. Let's get into this first Final 4 contest. So Roman Reigns in this matchup with Kurt Angle, back and forth affair. A lot of great action here with some good stuff, showing the moonsaults and all the different type of great wrestling maneuvers you've seen Kurt Angle do. But it was back and forth. It looked like Kurt Angle was about to pull off the huge win with the ankle lock, but a rope break would save Roman Reigns. And then a nice German suplex that was then no sold. Roman Reigns was able to get up out of nowhere with a spear, get the cover on Angle. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns is going to be heading to the finals, ladies and gentlemen, as he awaits the winner of Hollywood Hogan versus John Cena. The 2-3 matchup. Let's see who wins this one. Cena versus Hollywood Hogan was a tremendous matchup. Back and forth, these two heavyweights just continue to lay into each other, taking some damage from their torso to their head. Nobody got busted open in this one, but it looked like Hogan was going to be able to pull off the win before Cena was able to hit an AA, and Hollywood Hogan showed a little bit of resiliency with some life towards the end, but another AA was all she wrote as Cena gets the 1, 2, 3, and we have our 1 versus 2 matchup in the final with Roman Reigns taking on John Cena for our March Madness champion here in WWE 2K25. For the finals, John Cena taking on Roman Reigns, the 2 seed. Cena has had a great run, defeating some of the best in history, as has Roman. And this is an Extreme Rules contest, so anything goes. The only thing is you have to have the pinfall or submission happen in the ring, but these two superstars have had a tough, battle-tested road to get here. We're going to go through a few of them as we talk and walk through this match. So Roman Reigns has had a good test. He took care of a cousin, Jimmy Uso. Then he took down DDP, the 8 seed. Then CM Punk, the 4 seed. He took them out. CM Punk, the 4 seed, was defeated. Then Eddie Guerrero, the 7 seed. And then that got us to the Final 4, where he was able to take out Kurt Angle. And now here he is in the finals against John Cena. John Cena's had a great path as well. John Cena took care of Bubba Ray Dudley in the first round, then Shinsuke Nakamura, Logan Paul, and then Keith Orton, Randy Orton himself, and then Hollywood Hogan in the Final 4. So here we are, both these guys are getting some action going as the table's entering the ring. It's been all Roman early on in this championship contest. As Roman Reigns, a little action there. John Cena showing some fight back. And now going to get Roman, and nice little move here on top of the table. He misses, though, as Roman Reigns is able to evade, and a big boot to the face there of Cena. We get our first cover here of this matchup, and it's going to have to take a lot more than that. A lot more than that if we're going to take out Big Match John, of course, as some really cool stuff. But let me know what y'all think of this video thus far. I've had a lot of fun putting all this together with the graphics and everything you've been seeing. Hopefully you're all enjoying it, as Roman is gearing up. He's getting ready for the Superman punch as he connects, and now he's got the finisher stored. But he's got something else in store for Cena, it appears, as it's time for the ladder. Oh my goodness, we're getting some ladders into here. We got tables, we got ladders, no chairs yet, but now Cena's had a little bit of time. Now the running bulldog in the right hand, the flurry from Cena to fight back into this matchup. Again, Roman has that finisher stored, so that spear could come out of nowhere, as it did in his Final Four matchup against Kurt Angle. Cena showing a little fight, got a little damage down on Roman Reigns' torso. And he's going to go to the top rope. A high-flying maneuver from Cena. We don't see this very often, and it's a big hand. It misses. He tried to go with a five-knuckle shuffle from the top, and it missed completely. Now Roman maybe looking for the spear, and he gets the spear. It lands. We're going to get our second cover. 1, 2, 3. It's over. Holy Toledo. It didn't take very long, ladies and gentlemen, but Roman showing that he is the greatest in this ring. He's withstood 64 other men and defeated everybody that he's had come his way. And Roman Reigns, ladies and gentlemen, is your king of the ring. He is your WWE champion. He is your WWE 2K25 March Madness champion here, ladies and gentlemen. The first of our kind here on this channel. If you want to see more of these style of tournaments, make sure to smash that like button, comment below, and keep it tuned here for more. But stay safe, God bless. We'll catch you guys back in the next one. Y'all take it easy.